Welcome back, guys. It's the one and only Pokematrix bringing you the best, so y'all can just forget. Hey guys, it's been a long time since I've recorded an episode um of anything for the YouTube channel. It's been pretty inactive for a while. So this is not an update video or anything. I'm gonna have an update video later on. I don't want to address the issues and stuff right now, or what I plan to do now, but I will be saying hopefully this time uh there's gonna be more content on the channel, because now that I'm on summer break and stuff, I'll be able to do something. It all depends on if I want to record, because I don't know, I haven't really felt like recording, but I might start again. And with this I probably will, because I have joined a league. Yes, I know I started uploading for a different league before, but I only got 2 videos done and I didn't feel like doing the rest because, I don't know, I just didn't feel like recording that stuff, especially after like I lost a battle or two. I didn't really feel like post commentating that stuff. So yeah. But for this league, it's like there's a lot of professional people, like not professionals, but they have YouTube channels and they record for this league. So I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna try it out for this. So this is called the Elysian Battle League. I don't know if that's how it's supposed to be pronounced, but I joined it, and it's like basically a Pokemon league. And this is just a draft analysis, like what I drafted for this league. That's all this video is gonna be about. So let's get into it. All right. So as you can see, first, so I was about, I think, I want to say third last in a draft pick of 16 people. So I had a lot of thinking to do for this draft, because I was at the bottom part, and by then most of the stuff I'd want was gone. There was like Marshadow, which was allowed. I know it's crazy, but yeah, Marshadow was allowed in this, and I wanted to get that as my first pick, but it got taken before, which is to be expected. Why wouldn't that thing go? It's like busted, but that thing went, and then there was a couple other things I was looking at, and they kind of went too, but I still had a lot to work with, so I decided to go. I've drafted extra drill quite a few number of times now, but this time I decided to go with a sand core. Yeah, as you can see, since I was third last, I was also like a pseudo wheel pick, so I was third again from the bottom, because it's a snake style draft. So I decided, hey, let me just grab Excadrill and then get my Sand Setter right afterwards, because no one's gonna take that. There's only 2 people before me. So I went Excadrill for my first pick to get that ground steel, very powerful Pokemon. It especially in the sand, like, it's not too fast, and you'll see that with my team. It's not that fast at first. Like, a lot of my first few picks are pretty slow. It has only an 88 base speed, but like in sand, if you go like max speed, if you can get that thing to max speed, like, oops, my bad. If you can get that thing to max speed, which is like 275 adamant, then in the sand that's almost about 500 speed, because if you didn't know, it has an ability called Sand Rush, and that doubles its speed while it's in sand. So that's why I went with that option, and Excadrill is just a hard hitter, and I love this Pokemon. Like, it has some good HP, doesn't have any bulk or any special attack or anything, but it doesn't really need that, because it has the attack, and with the sand support, it's going to be outspeeding almost everything and OHKOing stuff. Next up, we have our Sand Setter, of course, Hippowdon, which we got like round 2 pretty quick, because obviously we needed a Sand Setter. It was this or Tyranitar. I kind of wanted to get Tyranitar because, Rock Dark type, it's pretty nice, but it shares too many of the same weaknesses with Excadrill. I mean, sure, Hippowdon does too, but like, I have a huge fighting weakness to cover, and I do already cover it in my next few picks, but still, I don't know, it just wasn't something I wanted at the time, and I'm happy with Hippowdon, because Hippowdon has a little more bulk to it, like the defense and HP. It's more bulky. It's like a physical wall, basically, and it can set up stealth rocks, as so can Excadrill, and Excadrill can spin, which is great. It's a first round spinner, like, it's great, so I have to worry about that less. Hippowdon will just set up the sand, be there to toxic a few things, hit off a pretty powerful earthquake, even if it's non-infested, because as you can see, over here. His attack is 112, which is nothing to laugh at. And then it can it gets so many things. Like it gets quite a lot of coverage too. Like it gets the fangs and stuff. It gets options to yeah, it gets the option to set up stealth rocks, whirlwind. So if it's something that you can't really face or like you can't touch, you can just whirlwind it out. You get toxic to stall, stealth rocks, EQ, all that type of stuff. So basically, it was just there as a sand setter and like a physical wall that I really needed. That was my second pick. So after that round, my initial plan was to get my mega and like like a hard hitting special attacker, like something like that, maybe a special like a special attacker with good bulk. So obviously, since I'm like, again, I'd have to wait about it would go up and then come back to me, which is about like, I don't know, 30 30 no, not 30 picks, it's probably like 20 something picks after that. So I had a few snipes. My original mega was going to be Mega Gyarados, because that thing is a huge monster. It's a water type, it's a dark type. It hits hard, it has bulk, it has everything. Like, it's so awesome. I really wanted to draft it, but some guy decided to snipe that from me. And then my backup, which was Mega Altaria, which again is can be special, it can be attacking, it has some good bulk. Like, only thing is it lacks a little speed, but like it's a really good mon, and it's a Dragon Fairy type together, and that would complete my Dragon Fairy Steel Core, because I already have Excadrill. That got sniped too. So then I was like, all right, what am I gonna do? Like, I don't have any options now. So what do I draft? Like, so I was going through and I was thinking, all right, I need a water, I need a fairy, I need some type of mega, and I wanted a mega that didn't like cost many points, so like it would be free. So I didn't want a really high tier mega. Venusaur here is like second tier, which is free, but I wanted a water fairy type, and I didn't really want Finny. I wanted Primarina because it's such a good special attacker. Like, you slap specs on that thing and takes lives. It's such a good one. I really wanted it, and I've also used Finny before. Like, it's okay, but you need to really know how to work it, because it doesn't have any recovery options and stuff. It's a mon that gets worn down pretty fast, and I didn't really want to use Finny again. So I was like, okay, I definitely want Primarina. That got sniped too. So what I had to work with was Tapu Fini. As you can see, that's the next pick I got. So Tapu Fini is like, this is like third round in, and it's like, again, like I said, 20 picks in, and I'm looking for stuff, and it's like, hey, this is a water, this is a fairy, I've used it before. Fini, I know I've been trashing Fini and talking about how, I wish I got some other Pokemon, but Finny has great defense and special defense. Like, those are some high stats for defense and special defense. Like, it's a huge. It can be a mixed ball, it can be a defensive, it can be special defensive. Its HP isn't really high, but it's not really low. Its attacking is out of the question. It gets some good coverage and dual stab, which is nice. And I wanted a dual stab if I was to get a fairy, because some fairies don't have the best fairy stab or like another stab. Like, there's Tapu Koko, which already was gone, but like it doesn't it has a high attacking stat, but like all it gets is special moves, and the only fairy type move it gets is Dazzling Gleam, which is good, but it's not the best. And then there's Tapu Bulu, which gets Dazzling Gleam as well, but it's a physical attacker. Like, it can't do anything with that. So anyway, so that's why I got Finny, it doesn't have the highest special attack or anything. It's just a base 95. It's not anything I can hit super hard with, but if you decide to put a specs on it, like, it's not something you'd probably see me doing. I'd probably run leftovers or something on this, or some berry to help take that damage better, because again, I don't want this thing to wear down easily. And I don't really have like that much wish passing, recovery, stuff like that on my team, so I'm probably gonna just run leftovers. But this thing is just sponge hits and stuff like that, and it's just a water fairy. Like, it's not a bad mon, but it's also not a good mon, I feel. but it ties in really well with my team, I'd say. Then up next we have Mega Venusaur here. So again, after Finny, I'd have to wait only like 4 picks to get to my next pick, because every even round, so 2, 4, 6, whatever, I have to wait only a few. Like, I'm a pseudo wheel pick, so that means like basically, as soon as I get him on, I'm basically guaranteed to get the next mon, unless there's some huge swipes, which never really happened because there were 2 guys in front of me and they didn't really take anything I'd ever want. So yeah, so there's Mega Venusaur. So I was looking at, as I said, 2 of my main megas that I wanted already got sniped from me. I was looking through the stuff, there's nothing really that I like left, nothing that really fits my team well. And then I see Mega Venusaur. So I'm like, you know what? I don't have a poison type. I don't have a grass type. This poison typing, also with Finny, it really, really helps my fighting weakness I have on Excadrill. It helps take care of the sand core. It really like complements that sand core, because it so Venusaur, as you know, Mega Venusaur has the thick fat ability, so it reduces fire and ice damage by half, so which is really awesome. So it's basically just weak to psychic, flying, and I think that's it. But yeah, so that really helps, because Excadrill and Hippowdon, they're both weak to water. The Excadrill is, I think, yeah, Excadrill, Hippowdon are weak to grass and stuff. Venusaur resists both of those. Tapu Fini resists water. Electric is a weakness with Tapu Fini, but Venusaur resists that. Hippowdon and Excadrill both sponge those up, and even if we're not talking about Hippowdon in general, if we're talking about this fairy fairy steel, or no, that's not a core yet, but like, as you'll see in my next pick, I get a core. But like, even if we see like they complement each other so well, it's really nice, like Venusaur, it sponges up, like it can't take flying and psychic moves. Excadrill resists both of those. Tapu Fini, it's weak to like poison, and it's not weak to steel, but it's weak to poison. Venusaur resists. Excadrill's immune to that. Like, these 3 picks, I feel they're really, like, they have some really good synergy, and I'm hoping to use them pretty well, hopefully, in this league, because I think they have some type of synergy. I know it's not like a fire, water, grass core, or it's not a steel fairy dragon core yet. It's like 2 of each from each core, but like these 3 picks together, they have just this really good synergy, I feel, and I'm really happy to use that. And Venusaur also, like, these stats, like, they're nothing to laugh at. 100 base attack, I mean, you can run, it has some physical coverage, and you can use that. It has 122 special attack, 123 defense, and 120 special defense. So those are all basically nearing the same thing, and they're all over like base 120, which is really fantastic. So this is again a bulky mon that can hit super hard, and it does lack speed though. And as I said, my first few picks really did lack speed. So yeah. Alright, so next up, again, I'd have to wait, I'd say 20 something or more picks again for my next pick, I'm looking at the stuff, I'm like, alright, what do I want to do now? I really wanted to finish that fire, water, grass core, and fire types, we're down to people getting stuff from, nabbing things from tier 3 and stuff, and there's a lot of good fire types and stuff in there, and other people already had fire types from tier 2 and stuff. I didn't really want a high tier fire type because that costs too much points, and fire types in general, in my opinion, they're not the best in league format, because they're weak to rocks and stuff. Like, some fire type combinations are really awesome, but some of them, like, some fire types aren't the best. But I was just looking through, and I'm like, you know what, I need a spin blocker. So basically a ghost type. I also need a fire type. Ghost type with like a ghost type with like good attack or something. That would be nice. Like or like a fire type. That has. I don't know really what I was looking for. Like, I was looking through tier 3, to be honest, and I couldn't find anything that I liked. There was, I think, I'll just pull up the doc really quick. I think there was, There was like Chandelure, which is also Fire Ghost. There was yeah, the tierings were weird in this league. Some of them they were like, why? You know, there's Torkoal. You know, Torkoal's not that good. It's really slow. I mean, so is Alolan Marowak, but like, it's weak to rocks. Yeah, okay. Okay, so there are a lot of the same thing, but Torkoal's more defensive and more passive, I feel. I've never really liked Torkoal. And it has Drought, which is contradictory with my team, because, you know, it has the Sand Core going. So I don't want to bring Torkoal. I don't think I'll be able to if I have Sand going. I don't want two weathers. So that's one of the reasons I probably didn't... And I don't like Torkoal at all. Like, really, it's like... In my opinion, it's a pretty bad mon. So... I didn't pick that up. There's not really that many fire types, as you can see, that are high tier, because, as I said, the Rock's weakness is a lot. There was Delphox, which is Fire Psychic. Could have gone that, but, like, I don't know. Delphox, it doesn't really have the best abilities. And I was looking at Alolan Marowak. I'm like, okay, you know, how could I have this Fire, Water, Grass core that's, like, really complements each other well? So Alolan Marowak was there. I've used it for a little bit in another league. I did drop it because I found use in another mon, Volcanion, because I had the points and stuff. But this time I really feel like I can use Marowak effectively in this league, and its abilities are great. It has Cursed Body, which is not the best, but like it's also something that's usable. It has Lightning Rod, which is huge because it absorbs electric type attacks. Like, you can't get hit by electric type attacks, basically, if you have that ability. And they increase your special attack, which is pointless for something like Alolan Marowak, but it's great to just take those electric type hits and have that immunity. Sure, I already have 2 from Excadrill and Hippowdon, but this helps with the Fire, Water, Grass core because Finny's weak to it, but it's resisted by Venusaur, and it can be potentially immune by Alolan Marowak. And then there's Rockhead, which is great because it lets, like, recoil not happen, like, you know. So from moves like Flare Blitz, I won't be taking recoil, but it'll be hitting super hard. And with the signature item of Marowak, which is a Stick Club, is basically a choice band, but I get to switch around my moves. And it's another rock setter and stuff, you know, I can do all that stuff with it. Marowak, it's weak to water, and Finny resists that. Venusaur resists that. Excuse me. It's resisting grass, so does Venusaur. Finny's weak to that, so I have 2 resists there. You know, I have 2 things that resist that one mon is weak to in this core. It's really nice like that. You know, Marowak's like weak to ground. Venusaur resists that. Tapu Fini can take some, but I rather not let it take any ground attacks. So yeah, that's kind of a little bit of a problem I see now on my team. I don't know if I fixed it or not. I think. Yeah, ground weakness is actually pretty hard for me. I think I think I did try to fix it up later, but I don't think I did too well at fixing it up. I'll have to actually check that. But it's weak to ground. Rock, there's no resistances for rock there though, which is kind of disappointing. But other mons do resist rock and stuff, you know, and it's not like, you know, Marowak's, okay, I only have 1 rock weakness so far, you know, Excadrills can spin them away, it resists them. Hippowdon also, it doesn't care about rocks. Tapu Fini can defog them, which is another hazard removal, which I really liked. Venusaur is gonna get worn down a little, but if I have that hazard removal, I can prevent it. And Marowak's basically the only thing that's kind of weak to rocks, and it's only 25% anyways. So yeah, that's why I got Marowak, and I'm just really excited to use the thing, you know. It's like OU, it's a big threat, you know, if you use properly. Alright, so next up we have our next pick, also another T3. This is my first free pick, I believe. Actually no, Hippowdon's my first... No, Hippowdon's a tier 2. Tapu Fini was my first free pick. Hitmontop is my second free pick. I believe so. I'll just actually check that. I have my notes here. Yeah, Hitmontop was my second free pick from tier 3. So I was looking at tier 3 and I'm like, you know what, I need a fighting type, you know, something that resists rocks. I know I already have like a resist to rocks, but like I needed another one, you know, something that's, maybe spins away rocks, and I was looking through it and I saw Hitmonlee and Hitmontop there. Now, I know I could have gotten Hitmonlee because he's a bit more speedier and he has Unburden as an ability, which is like fantastic. It would have been a great mon, but I just felt Hitmontop had more bulk that I could use, especially the defensive bulk. I mean, I have Hippowdon, Tapu Fini can be defensive, Venusaur can also be defensive, but I felt like, I'd rather have a fighting type that can take a few hits on the physical side of things too, instead of Hitmonlee, because it's kind of frail. Hitmonlee has a special defense, but it's kind of frail on the defensive side, and sure, it has a little more attack, but I'm willing to sacrifice that. And Hitmontop, the cool thing about it is all its abilities are really fantastic. Like, Hitmonlee has 2 good abilities, I think, but Hitmontop also has Intimidate, so it stops. Basically, it has good, like, defensive bulk, and then on top of that, it has Intimidate, which lowers the attack of physical attackers. So basically, I will be able to take a lot of physical hits really well with this mon. And it spins, which is absolutely fantastic. It resists rocks, so when it can come in, it can freely spin. It gets Technician, which is awesome, because anything with the power of less than 60, so all its priority moves that it gets will have like 1.5 times power added to it, which is awesome. And then Steadfast is, if it ever flinches, its speed is raised by 1 stage, which probably won't be used too much, but if I think, fake out shenanigans or something, I could switch it in and then get that +1 speed boost. I mean, it's not that much, as you can see. It's pretty slow as well, which is a huge problem for my team right now, but that's what I felt was a good pick for, like, what, this is round 6, yeah, for round 6. So yeah, those were my first 6 picks. Then we move on to the next round. So by this round, I really wanted a dark type because I didn't have one. My initial goal was to go Sneasel, and from tier 4, I wanted, like, some type of support mon, something to fill that type of role, or possibly a really fast. A really fast mon. I really needed a really fast mon. So I wanted my next 2 picks to be really fast. So a fast dark type and like another fast mon from tier 4. That was the plan. But that didn't work out. I got sniped of Sneasel, and the other mon I just didn't end up picking because I found something better. So after I was sniped of Sneasel, it was pretty bad because my whole plan was like to go, these fast mons, and then the rest of my picks were gonna be pretty like fast and stuff. I had it all planned out. Excuse me. So yeah, I had it all planned out and stuff, and I'm like, alright, this is gonna be really good. But then it got sniped, and then I had to kind of, find a pick that was really fast. And I was looking at Dodrio. It was sitting in tier 3. No one had taken it yet. And with the buff it got this gen, it's absolutely fantastic. It has 110 base attack and 110 base speed, which is super duper fast. You can slap a choice band on this will take lives. I know it doesn't have any other really good stats, but again, it outspeeds and it has really good attack. So it doesn't really matter if it has the defense or not. And I really needed something that could really, and it can set up with Swords Dance and just sweep. I'm planning to do that with this. And it helped out with my ground weakness because it's fully immune to ground, which is something I really needed at the point. So I felt like Dodrio was a great pickup in this round as my 3rd free pick, and there's 2 more free picks I could get, and then this was my tier 4. So as I was saying, I needed a dark type, and after Sneasel got taken, I didn't really see anything else. I mean, sure, there were like top tier dark types like Tyranitar was still there. I think Weavile got taken just before Sneasel, but there was some other really good like dark types in tier 1 and tier 2 that I could have gone for, but they clashed with my team, like they were repetitive. They had some repetitive typings. They did a lot of the same things as my other stuff with their typing and like with their role, and like they weren't really that fast either. So like, and I didn't want to waste that many points. I have to make 2 more, and I didn't want to get like a tier 6 and like a tier 1. Like, I want to be able to use all my mons effectively in this league. So I was looking, what? I need some support on my team, like, pivot and stuff. And then I saw Persian, like Alolan Persian, and I'm like, you know what, this is a great option for me. It's a dark type, it's super fast, it doesn't have any other really, like, big things about it, I guess. Like, it's just really fast, and that's about it. But it has a great ability in Fur Coat, which halves damage from anything that hits on the physical side, which is awesome. It's like an awesome ability. Basically, it busts its defense. It doubles its defense, I think. Yeah. So anything that's any physical attacker will basically be doing less to me because my defense is doubled. So whatever I invest into my defense, that will be doubled, which is awesome. And it gets so many pivoting options. Parting Shot. If I want to do Z Parting Shot, it can fully heal a Pokemon, which is great for Finny and stuff because they get worn down fast. It gets access to U-turn, foul play, fake out, all that type of stuff. And Persian's really fast, so like almost nothing's going to be outspeeding it half of the time, which is really great for this Pokemon. So I really feel like I've drafted this before once, I think. Yeah, but I didn't really use it that well or effectively. But I feel like this time I really could use it, as it's also my only dark type, so my only psychic immunity. So I might be using this to a few matches, bringing this to a few matches, hopefully. Up next, we have my next two picks, where I was basically decided on these round 4 or something. I just didn't want to pick them up that early because Raichu is tier 5. No one really looks at Raichu as something, that's that much of a threat or something that they need. People already get fast electrics in the top tiers because they feel like, they just look at those first and they're like, this is fast. Raichu is nothing to sleep on. And I didn't want to now. I knew I could get it, like, one of my last few picks could be Raichu without it being stolen. Haxorus we'll get to later. But Raichu is pretty fast. It hits at 110, which I know I don't have anything breaking 115 or anything, but, like, those are still some pretty good speed tiers, and I can still choice scarf things, and we also have extra drill. But Raichu's super fast, and it doesn't have the best special attack, but they're both equal, so I can run physical or special Raichu, and its move pool is absolutely insane. It gets Thunderbolt, Surf, it can fake out, it can Volt Switch, it has so much momentum. It gets Nasty Plot, which is one of my favorite sets. Life Orb Nasty Plot is one of my favorite things to run. You can potentially clean with Raichu at the end. And it's another electric immunity I get. Yes, it also gets Lightning Rod, which is awesome. I don't really have a weakness to electric by any means on this team. Like, I have so many resists and immunities by now. But it's just another great thing to have. And static's also great. If any physical attackers want to contact me, if I have enough defense investment on, I could take an attack. I can basically cripple it, and then I can proceed to, OHKO it or kill it. It's not like I'm gonna not be outspeeding most things anyways, but it will just give me that extra, boost and hacks. Hopefully, maybe that's the thing. All right, next up we have Haxorus. So, as you can see, I'd finished my Fire, Water, Grass core pretty early on, but I was lacking the dragon I needed. So, I actually had a lot of options, a lot of, opportunities. Excuse me. A lot of opportunities to get great dragons. As I said, my Mega was going to be a dragon, my backup Mega. There were a lot of great other dragons I could have gotten early on if I really wanted to, but I just didn't know what to get. I didn't know what to do. The Garchomp was even sitting there. I could have even gotten that if I wanted to the round before, but I decided, just before Raichu, but I decided not to do that, and I got Haxorus, surprisingly. I think people sleep on this because, Haxorus was still there in the second last round of the whole draft. That's insane, This thing's attack is off the charts. 147, that's nothing to laugh at. This thing gets Dragon Dance, so it can sweep. It has 97 speed, but it can Dragon Dance up, and it can just sweep. It gets Poison Jab for the fairies. It gets Outrage, Dragon Claw, whatever. You can use Dragon Claw with D-Dance, and you're boosted. You don't even need the Outrage. You get Earthquake for all, steals and stuff, the stuff that, everything that resists or is immune to it, it has an answer to. It's awesome. It's a great mon, and I'm really glad I could steal this pick this late in the draft and that no one really wanted or anything. And it completed my Fairy Dragon steel core, which is great. So, I don't know about the compliments or anything, but like, this gives me 2 mold breaker mons too. If I ever want to use mold breaker drill, which is like if I don't bring sand basically, but this gives me another mold breaker mon, to get past all those levitators, all those stupid things like that. I can unaware users, all that stuff. I can just like hit hard. Like I don't need to care about their abilities stopping me from attacking. It's a great mon, honestly, and I'm really glad I picked up Haxorus. So now we're in the last round, and it's all the way again 20 picks or whatever. This thing didn't get sniped because I don't know. This is also another overlook mon. It's seen as the bad Yuxi, or obviously the worst as of, but most often it's like the worst Yuxi and stuff. But it's not that bad. It has a great even stat distribution between its attack, defense, special attack, special defense. It's basically a Pixie Legendary. It's basically a Mew. It honestly basically is, because its other two stats are just 80 base HP and 80 speed. If those were like 100 or 105, it would basically be a Mew. It would be a better Mew, honestly, because it has 105 in each of its like other stats. So that would 5, 10, 15, 20. So 20, yeah. You'd just be 20 off from being like a actual Mew. This is like it's even stat distribution, which is really helpful because it can be physical, it can be a tank, it can be not a tank. It can be physical, it can be special, it can be defensive, it can be special defensive, it can be mixed, it can be a mixed attacker, it can be whatever you want, and its move pool is insane. And it has the ability to levitate, which again helps with that ground weakness I do have, which is awesome. Like it just switches into ground attacks. It won't take anything, and it has so much like utility options and like attacking options. It's honestly a great mon, and I'm really excited to use Mesprit too. And it gets access to rock, so that takes off like the pressure from always having like I was never gonna use Stealth Rock on Excadrill because it's that's not the plan, but like Hippowdon most of the time will have rocks, but sometimes if I decide not to bring sand or anything, I don't need to like rely on Hippowdon being there, so I can have Mesprit. And Alolan Marowak can set up rocks, but this is a much better rock setter in my opinion. So yeah, that's all my picks basically, guys, and I don't want to make this video any longer than it probably already is, but that's what I drafted for this season of the EBL, and I plan to do the post commentary videos of all my league matches in this league, hopefully, and I hopefully want to have a good time with all the new people in this. So with that, guys, your Matrix out.